Good afternoon, everyone. Ngasigi topic sina BZC 105 American Literature ki topic oituni ko. Block 2 Nathaniel Hawthorne The Scarlet Letter ko. Akui Scarlet Letter je masina ki mari suko lecture oituni ko. Akui introduction, akui character analysis ke mathang akui ki lecture series ta batare ko. Lecture 1 2 3 to gre. Ngasigi topic sina unit 4 na ko. The Scarlet Letter Structure narrative style and special features that we now discuss tawduniba haibadi novels the yauriba ko magi structures haibadi magi wari sagalakpa haibata ne ko magi ku the novels na wari ma di na ko ku ina channel photo na ku wari ni ba kan da kamaina mana wari ja ku the kamaina narrate tawke tatraga di ge happening duneba aduga kari style haibadi karamba mong da haibata re ko mana api wari je live no haibado ku na masigi lecture je taraka ko masigi unit je kun discuss taru ku na understand to haibadi gyan ta bangam duneba ko aduga atop kari special ga have top pa have tare ko manipuri da harga ko mugun kari auge have zo kui masigi lecture da ko khaminar ko so again masigi topic se BZC 105 American Literature gini block 2 Nathaniel Hawthorne gi Scarlet Letter ko magi most celebrated novel du ni mase akuna hanazu wari ke gadi no loina paramani lorge ko we around I can be 2 months mu phare ko sigi se kuna lecture je kuna we sporadically to bunna ko khala na to bunna in Forney, the Scarlet Letter, structure, narrative style, and special features ni ko kuin ngasi to doji ko. Atu ko dum hawrasi ko si kuina ngasi na last class ho jeni ko masi topic sida. Atu ka next class gina ko anoba topic malakun na bahanya bi to roji ko. Hawrasi ko. So objective stand hawrasi. This unit intends to give you an insight into the structure of the novel, the way in which the work is organized. I in on kitong hagre ko. Ngasi gi unit na ekoida tang idea ma haiba tare ko kuina wakhalun ma sagatui ne ko haibadi mana masigi novels at Nathaniel Hawthorne na kamaina I haibadi what is linear win haibadi we plot ta harga ko incident A harasi ko incident A dagi incident B dagi incident C and waina ga matang linear na lapra natraga ku jump around to bra ko haibadi what is ka chong mujuli ko wari matang da na magi structure je kamaina semam ke kari unique ko ke ko aduga Nathaniel Hawthorne gi wari je ani novels have tare ko kari ki damakta asuk yamna celebratory no have to give factor amu oi dunia ko ki American novels in America on the most recognizable hagira on the most celebrated hagira adu so pi dunia aduga second so objective na help you understand the relationship between different parts of the novel, the principle of division, the link between the custom house section and the main story. Ano yami kasi topic se we nega topic se we masam have tare ko subordinate topics sa gatra. Out the equina different parts of the novel na parts of characters ju yami wari ju yami ka wari so we main storyline have to the amatan ni ko we has separate magi story of redemption ko we the Misdale chilling word na trap the pearl man ko ne khang ba to ni ko idea ka le ba to ni out the pin si to du jina relationship to moi marak ko we novel to the yori ko wari link ko the characters in magi relationship to we ka yeng du ne ko aduka the principle of division khaidok to mana khaidok ke novel se ko come under kai idea makhada haibitari natraga on which ground ko kai to ke aduga the link between the custom house sections the ni equina novel ji manuscripts ya wi padan thing do ko wi writer sina on the wi role na kari no haibagi that's overall natraga ko kari important role to man play to have to be do ko and the main story na wi separate story ko aduga wi the zero story to simyam ji link se equina na si ne na do ni ko consider its special features as fiction and think of novels it can be compared with. Aduka magi special features ko fiction mo ina magi special features habdi magun kari lebage habato ko. Aduka think of novels it can be compared to. Habdi yes Nathaniel Hawthorne gi the Scarlet Letter gi amna celebrated the work amani ko. Adubu matamgi contemporary works karjuli na ko akwi Russian writer boy ro akwi Italian hagira English hagira ko in the list me amni duga matambuka maje kari combine compare to be favorably compare to be abra ko anatraga quiz negatively compare to be abra adu jo kitang discuss to be abo ko habdi work amase isolation the ma isi work se phazade magun leite have isolation yi dia den ko comparative when habdi Matthew Arnold the haram but touchstone method ka have ko sinyam ta ba ni ko ta tra ko jalo ko sinyam ji yeng du so objectives ang tang hagi ngasi ko discuss to do isi. This unit intends to give you an insight into the structure of the novel called Scarlet Letter, the way in which the work is organized. Kamaina works are organized to have the help you understand the relationship between different parts of the novel, the principle of division, the link between the custom house section and the main story si jo khang ni ko kuin tam tam na slide se ko one by one ya kan da kun hen clear over ni ko du yang si atuka last consider its special features as fiction and think of novels it can be compared with ona karam novels in ko tam du ke ku yamna matam te yamna famous over novelist in jam na ko Russian gumba English novelist gumba ke gum haiba tare ko tu ku novel as a genre haiba tare ko novel as a literary category amoina ko yam choba we mala to ko serialize na hui Dickens bu haro matam du ga Emil Zola hoi na France hara ga ko Russian da hara ga Dostoevsky hoi bu ga Tolstoy bu ga ko me am du ka mai compare to be ake du yin du ne ko matu me am da koi na sigi lecture jida discuss to minaji adu ko gyan ta minasi ko horji Introduction. In this unit, we initially consider two principles of division in the novel: the placing of the scaffold scenes and the shift in the activating agent of the action. Alna, akwai ni example da ba ma. Masigi novel the Scarlet Letter ja. Masida scaffold hari ba akwai scaffold habati akwai race structure amani ko. Adu da mi amang da akwai ek ho da noina novel do para gadi am clear wina understand torani ko. Hester je magi punishment amoina maje scaffold mathu to kakhada laga maje miyam ki society gi minok maisa ha to ko manipuri dharga miyam khangan duine ba miyam na monda karem ka thaina bi ba ha ka tra ko miyam na maje public humiliation ha to ko samasi mamang da du miyam maje scaffold mathu to kakhalaga ne phalaga miyam na cherak pa miyam na konti na ngang pa miyam na mun sona pa miyam to mana targa lepaga leitune ba sine ba khugi puritan matam dugi punishment makala mahara ko physical punishment mak natraga jo wiki psychological punishment have tare ko aduna scaffold gi sin je amata natte ko kuina nisanga da bomna yes we all know Hester na hek horok pada ko wiki opening chapter da mana akhalaga scaffold da akhalaga magi punishment masala accept to jaba otagi kui nisanga da bomna dimestel juma scaffold da anira ka khalina ko nisanga bi ai ko wiki viewers jina para gadi ko amana wiki nungdang da mi kanam to udruka da man kakhalaga mana magi sins have dar ko magi paps man la tuk saba odadi kanam ma just so gide ko ani shuba am aru to man kakatuna wiki at the end of the novel du gi lor ko matang du da the mesel mana proclaim to man accept to ko have the pearl nai san pini hasan ai lover adu ne da kamana last man confess to have dar ko adu ne ko scaffold ona wiki akwina negative novel jida scaffold gi sin se yamna important oi yamna maru we have se kui san ya zakta ne ko aduna masigi wari jida kui gi scaffold sin sing ju ko kar ninga gani ko aduga shift in the activating agent of the action activating agent hierarchy education te ko sida kuina in quotation da yawe kan ga yam du jalu no ko haibadi plot amaze kui drive to hierarchy haibadi sathan gi hierarchy ko kui agent ama daga type madugi agent to character mo bi madugi agent to event mo bi action mo bi indare ko for example akwigi atopa novels in the zuko samasa novel du matung ila ko it can be the scene ko for example Great Expectations the pip na sigi is relevant to the oitre but novel ama haram ko Great Expectations the pip na mana akwigi runaway convict ama thingna ba ko mu pam gizagal da auna magi activating agent in akwin lobby hai dumaina Nathaniel Hawthorne gi the Scarlet Letter ju akwigi scaffold sin jina ko masina cho ba wave ama pore ohong ba haiba tare ko change am pore novel du gi progress time na kuna accept to tare ko maduni look at the relationship between the narrator the original manuscript and the reader and the combination of the dramatic and the descriptive in the novel atuga sida ko combination am yin dune ko narrator wari du li narrator ne original manuscript ne custom house to thing up ko odagi reader ai quick ko atuna adugi matungda the combination of the dramatic and the descriptive in the novel. Novel is the dramatic scenes yogani, descriptive scenes yogani. So masi miyam jina unjal laga. The Scarlet Letter is yana celebrated with a novel mo helis. Kamay no have the factors me umasang yaw ko. Novel ama classic nen lowers ko. Masi ju classic nen lobby are at this point. American classic nen lobby are ko. Nathaniel Hawthorne ki the Scarlet Letter is yana influential ba yana kahta legacy and sound later novel ko. Ado kamay na legrino habadi karigino hujik phobuda ko in 2024 haragene ko kuina magi novel the Scarlet Letter ja kuina study to bi se asidagi kuina kari learn to bi ai kari kuigi life te apply to bi ai ka habat ko simian ja kuina karigino have to kuina sigi lecture ji yin dunia ko entare ko on masigi novel je layers me am yaw on masigi layers me am kuina one by one kuina unravel to harage ko in sa haragene ko adu to na dunia ko adu kui to minazi adu ka understand to minazi novel ji ki magi genius hagatra magi values have tare ko define the subgenre, define the subgenre of the Scarlet Letter and analyze, partly in the light of Hawthorne's own distinction between novel and romance. So, siki novel harga equigi masiki equigi lyric tugi category don't be the romance la novella have say Hawthorne masana distinction masama pizera me ko ona maki novels novels na equigi physical equigi magi word count harga ne ko the novel ne lower ga chu ma je romance la matamdugi romance harga de equigi simple matam da nushinumon you have na te ko we writing style in lorjo ado ani jugi marata karamba ne henna inclination natural inclination karamba ne henna pi novel pi bra romance pi bra have to kuina little by little slides e kuina one by one study to rakanda in the clearer idea ma pin sarat panga makani ko ado hui to minase the structure of novel ko okay, Hamada can discern two basic principles of division, scaffold scenes as dividing lines and division based on nature of interaction among characters and agents of action. And see that you can do pangramaleko. Amokazo I repeat okay. Akwina understand the women, discern hagakan tabako, lotion bangam bahab in lords go. Two basic principles of division. Kaido was a kakina, we novel to come the Kaido be a gay having sable. Scaffold is in the letter. Scaffold is in say so high scaffold in a career role play to have it. Aquina side number the yang as a method hydra, naturally equipment hydra of humiliation and yang. Natako. Oh no, Masiki equigi Hesterna, mana my masana pico, through Maki adulterous affair habitare, and the missile. You put the window where it's a condom in the color, heavy recovery to command to so the Isila Panis, the X1 Dorpin have a document discussed in the VRM. Oh no, scaffold is since do that. A hundred. Hester the scaffold among the Kahan by say Magiti, humiliation, the ritual Makalamane Puritan society. And they go. Adubo, Demesdel the Magi, Lambi Aman Habi, or Magi for Magi retribution, Hydra, Magi remorse with fun Hydra. And they go, Ona scaffolds in a character Maga, Natraga character, Pupomaga, Samanaba impact to Lehente. A hand by Horpudana, Hester Dana as an object of humiliation. Natra Magi as a object of social judgment. Natra society among the people judgment. I believe Matandugi Puritan society say Yamna strict Yamna narrow minded Masiati Habigi I think Yam John Tomanina Hester Toruba action to Matumina Maja scaffold Kakal Halaka Mabu judgment people in society. Can they got church na device a more Odegi the Mesel the Mana scaffold Kakalize Mahapun the force of Bonate or the Maje Mana Soyubani have to congratulate except for Maga Natraga Wiki Kona Tamnahagan Silimo Chukaniko Atuka Hope the Maga Hesserga Pangise. Ona the Mesel Masada di scaffold Kaba have say Magidi Mana Magi Asuibu Yazaba Habita. And like a man at ICO minus Sure, I sit over have the Yazaba acceptance to put in the Pinobia. Hanba Mana scaffold Kakalaka down to that. Magi sins so proclaimed to Kakaranta Hotel. So Magi punishment hydra, natural social judgment hydra to Nanto record. An issue that the demand Loram data, while Logan demand except a week or Nagi Sanpini, has certain Nagi Magi lover habitat mind of it. I do not scaffold sins a important way. Not just for driving the plot forward call, plot session to Mamma Hungry one at the bit of Adusu important way, as well as Karamba character the Karamba role play to Gabit. Esther Daddy as the role of humiliation, as a humiliating agent and lordship. Demes Zeldana as the role of Magi attempt Habitarako as his attempt towards retribution Hagera, as his attempt toward remorse Hagera, Adunita. Second Subada, the novel is built around scaffold in the sense that chapters 2, 12, and 23, in which Hester, Demezel along with Pearl respectively mount it, constitute turning points in the story. Chumiko. Chapter 2 dani Queen Hester na scaffold the Kakalaga, Majamiamgi, Samaski, Habitariko, we judgment upon Gibito. 12 dana Demezel na Nundan the Kakapito, no Paramani in the Lorgico. Atuga Arubida, chapter 23 dani Demezel nama Kakalaga, Magi proclamation Pirama Matunda, Maje Shihidu to Habitat. Yandariko, Maje Shihidu Nico. On the Simiam Dina, a Jojo role played the way. wari je kui understand to buda as well as character ji bo kui na understand to no kona buda in like hester je kar makan character no amsung dimension je kar makan character no habida kui na tamna scaffold gi sin je kui analyze to ma tum da kumna ingjan ba kan da kui na khang panga me in like hester ma samang na ma je willingly ka khalaga ma gi punishment man ya je in like I badi yes ma lalure ko adu ma na mai punishment do society na ma kare ko thai na biba ma bo humiliate to biba ma bo judgment biba do man accept to silently have tare ko dimensional na scaffold ka khalaga man law thoga man in swine la recall rekan ahin daga law ko to ko dang have tare ko matu to ma gi retribution pam gini ma gi remorse feel to gini ba mongon da my conscience na chana chak thila le have tare ko ma la lure ma gi soy re have to gi ko aduga last na dimensional ga pearl ga hester ga khalaga mo na last mo gi losalambo have tare ko dimension losalambo lapthor tu ne atuga madu lapthor matungda dimension na si tu ne kan tare ko simyam je scaffold ki role je yam chong na lowi masigi novel je da have se apin accept to ta ne ko sigi chapters 2 chapters 12 amasung chapter 23 the 12th chapter assumes great significance because it clearly separates the first part of the novel from the second oh no chapter 12 sina achoba role man lawi ko ko chapter me amar sida kai no bakanda novel je tangkhai marak chalak pai bata ne dare ko mamang da hana lai ki actions me am events me am characters me am da matung da tar ka do chapter 12 ki matung da ka do ba action character events me am da yamna obvious ba khaidok pai bata tangkhai da hana ma ku nga ma ni ado ku yimina ji ko kamai la ke ba structure of the novel ni ko in the name reason as the scaffold is located in the marketplace of Boston, Hester standing there undoubtedly gets the maximum share of social ignominy. Oh no, scaffold do muna thawinki marketplace da thawinki muna thami. Kai ino ba kanda mi khudimak na unaba mi khudimak na khanghong na ba haibagi mong ko. Aduna ihana na chapter 2 da Hester na scaffold kakhalaga magi humiliating oiba right of basis I got another my humiliating over punishment hari right of basis have to another punishment mana bakanta ma je society gi miss na loina uraga angang ahan nupi nupa ko loina magna uhorga ma bu yamna judgment bibi ga dunia kya mana soiru bu gi have ta ma matumna so bina te ko atubu akoi mamangi lecture da mamangi discussion da ikoina ina high ko matam du gi Puritan society je habiti preference nupa da pira habiti patriarchal loiba higher gen ko atuga chumi anga ama polo perhaps nupa nupi animaki role daga tai ko adubo in this story also and also in puritanical society har ko nupi dana henda blame je namjan biba ko nupi sna kitang weaker sex oiba ko nupi sna gi taina bham oiba taina ba da lie ba haiba tare ko manai oibani na Hester na mana scaffold da khalaga chapter 2 da mana samas ki minok mai sa haiba tare ne ko na sim judgment samas ki kon phajada me mana no accept of the dunia atom da ko adubu dimensionality nanthau dunia mu last 3 chapters culminate adi last solution to lak haiba tare ko in dimensional's triumph over Chillingwood na mana idea am lak de khang padi ko haibadi magi nupi magi real wife haiba tare ko Hester da dimensional da mabani je relationship there ka pearl to keno to ni ko pani haiba to man chingna bu to atu me andu ko na last di dimensional je ma je Chillingwood ki triumph Chillingwood ki against haiba tare ko magi successful lak to ni man haibadi dimensional man hana losalamba jalamba my conscience ma hanjan on the muai to phone ba ko physically even physically ko psychologically they can doctor na physically mo no ta phone to dimensional last to the freedom phangi do ne even though it led to his death haiba tare ko matuni chapters 4 to 8 after Hester's interview with Chillingwood in prison deal with Pearl and Hester describe the latter's struggle in the community aduna chapter 4 dagi 8 phom na Hester ga Chillingwood ga thingare ko Chillingwood na Hester da ma je magi original husband ni real husband ni haidu kan ko kana sema na mo ko par ba ngani ko aduga akoi sigi chapter 4 to 8 akoina kari thingnage haba kanda after Hester je magi scaffold ka kha laga ko laga society ke punishment phangba matungda Hester ga Pearl ga je society na puritanical society ubani ko mo je tamthok pire habi ane yantai ko social outcast o henbire adu o helabani na moize samas ki periphery da habidi matai da habata ko edge da habata lehel laga Hester jisu mayam na punbi da ba Pearl ju miyamna magi angang mogi lenga kika haiba tare ko tinabidaba haiba tare just yamna tobi haiba duni ko samna haiba ta moi jibu handaba second class citizens haiba tare matam gi haiba ko terminology chinara na tobi mi mong tobi nte ko tobi mong tobi haiba to tori ni ko moi je samas ta tilan daba haiba tare nte ko adu mayam je accepting will be daba haiba to auna mabani amaga machaga je yam one haiba tare ko gi nature da yam naksuna na society dagi lapsuraga nature da hanbei mong ko natural level way of life am hanbei mong da with uhallewa auna moina community da changna hona da moina thenagi ba struggle mogi awawa myam to madu jo we chapter 4 to 8 da with the fazana clear when the pian bangam akhui da khangan bangam ko Hester ju magi society gi magi as a need to ga have tare ko sim stress have tare matam du gi har ga terminology to ko khoi p2 hai tare to ma saka tam jai aduga pearl ji mana magi chahi lenga ki angang sing ga puning ba saning ba or ju moi gi chama gi lenga angang sing gi ma pa sing ko pearl da puning de Hester ga associate to honing de natra auna pearl je matom da sana jara ga ko nature ga notion na ga have tare magi own life have tare ko aduma chimjina onda ba yamna natural ba ngam mo yamna wild ba have tare wild not in the sense of negative connotation gi na tabi ko akoi lan negative from lobby na tabi ko wild ba har ga yamna natural ba life ma ai badi nature gi tampang ta sausara ni ngang je ko yamna free ba yamna akoi sida ga yaw ko word perverted ba ka have to sunna har ba ko akoi idea je wakalun je yamna wild ba free ba kari gino haba kanda matam dugi puritanical society da diko angang ogira hanogira ko si ya de natra si toroi da bani si hangoi da bani si ngangoi da bani kana haba me am restrictions me am matam bani na pearl gum angang da diko madi toning to freedom phangaga haba tar ko nature haba si freedom ni ana nature gi tampa ta sorok ni na nuai na madi ko toning to chaning ba cha chening ba sen haba tar ko me am to ko kana ta struggle di am thing gi mama masa samna matuli Chapters 9, 10, and 11 show Chillingworth winning the minister's confidence and unearthing the secret of his guilty heart. So the minister has a quick message on chapter 9, 10, 11 that Chillingworth na doctor ki tap have tare ko mana minister jun taksalaga minister to his secret. Minister na suffer to jika digino have the mon hana chingna ba do ko na di ma chingna ba yam do chumam do ne ko oh I give the bigger relationship there mi minister dimsel have the part ko kaya ma khang ko to ko tamna chapter 9, 10 amasung 11 da kuita unravel torokani entire ko with the decipher to kon have tare ko masi mi am the with structure of the novel discuss to kanda clear tam no kani ko makhata si ko next slide laksi chapters 13, 14, and 15 deal again with Hester and Pearl, revealing the former's improved condition within the community and within herself. Aduna matam na sum horak panina have tare ko matam sum next by next ko month after month lakunina ekoi Hester ga Pearl ga gi baban gi matang do ere ko chapter 13 14 amasung 15 ayam da deal to ri ko aduga masina kari chapter 13 14 and 15 na kari deal to ga ba kanda Pearl gi rules as a Pearl hierarchy ko Hester gi rules so community da hierarchy ko matam gi puritanical community ko yamna orthodox oi ba yamna strict community da Pearl like that Hester ji ko yamna mabu pa kain oi ba ko mi mateng pangjaba ingonda atum mingonda lalu to banina magi image se hana hobda di ko chapter 2 da kaida ma yam phattaba yamna villain of character gi ta khalu do tamna sum ma je redeem to sar pa ngamba hori ko tamna madune Chapter 16 to 20 saw the partial reunion of Hester and Dimestel and their attempt to counter Chillingworth's plans. This leads to the marketplace scene culminating in Dimestel's confession, followed by the last chapter, which is like an epilogue. Although the 16 to 20 dana, a quickie Hester and Dimestel plan the silica, which is a crajira pen the tana about missing, excuse me, we see novel paramagadi yam the clear work and the high yams. Moina forest the unaraga have ko Hester ju wiki puritanical societies like in the Europe to solaga ko escape to no have American Puritan society the escape to raga matay manaw jina matay manaw hierarchy ko we lovers hierarchy ko matay manaw hierarchy kitong dan lovers and jina mo masado mako matubong the purga race to gi plan sinjaba ko to finally Dimesel naman sahi kaya man lot no tumak ba have tare ko mana Pearl gi sing mama pan lot mo to last mana equigi loram dai se loram dai have tare ko epilogue mamang to mana ki hai tare confess tꯧꯔꯛꯄꯗꯣ scaffold ꯀꯥꯈꯠꯂꯛꯄ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯁꯤꯟꯁꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯛꯇꯣꯏꯅꯦ ꯃꯗꯨꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯝ important ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯃꯊꯪ ꯃꯊꯪ ꯌꯦꯡꯁꯦ Novel can be divided into 4 parts. The first part, chapter 1 to 7, community, in addition to the 4 principal characters, is responsible for the action. Chapter 1, the 7 book to the community, Madugi, Lamdugi community, Hesserga, Wiki, Mikey, the Messel, we Puritan society, or the community roles, and Chowny. The 4 principal characters as a quick company called Hesser later. Dimesdal later, Chillingwood later, Amazon Pearl later, Moina, Ayamba, Moina responsible with action to drive the Nokonam, Habity, Satin Nokonam. Chillingwood takes over in the second part, chapters 9 to 12. God, the Chillingwood Roman chocolate. Hester becomes the prime mover in the third part, in the chapters 13 to 20 book in Hester Giroux, Yam Chaurenko. And finally, Dimesdal assumes responsibility for the action in the remaining chapters 21 to 24. Within its part also there is a natural division between cause and effect. Between material concerned predominantly with the activating agent and the material focus on the person or persons acted upon. For example, scaffold Hester the kari effect. Scaffold Dimesdal the kari effect zoom the activating agent to scaffold the person or persons acted upon sina Hester gumba sida Dimesdal adugi clear when novels in the first part, beyond the reach of the characters to create the social situation which is necessary prerequisite to spiritual drama, the latter unfolds in the novel. Characters in the social situation, last spiritual drama unfold Second part culminates in scaffold scene where Hester and Pearl join him on the platform and enable Nobilis to shift to Hester as an activating agent in the next part. The second part of the first part of the letter. Second part na equity Dimesdal ga Hester ga Pearl ga moy umna scaffold ka platform do ka khala ga aduga manaka confess to ba kanam to budi tahawdre ko madu bidam tang pe ka oibini na ko aduga sida Hester da mu equity importance so Hester dong pirak to rebe Hester jina mo activating agent to rebe haibadi action do makha chathabagi maram je Hester na mu arani haibini to ko novel jina moi turn dong no ba haiba tare Hester na mu oi Chillingwood na mu oi Dimesdal mu oi ko na matang society community na mu oi bijari ko on sim turn je long na ka moina matang plot se wiki importance ko character shift away ba sigi chapter asukena supoguna Hester na quite important on Hester activating agent oi ko chapter asukena supoguna Dimesdal oi sidagina sibogna Chillingwood oi sidagina sibogna community Puritan community oi Puritan society oi have to akuita khangan bangam adulin in the first 3 chapters 13 to 15 of the next part, it begins with recent past of 1 principal characters, respectively Hester, Chillingwood, and Pearl. 13 to 15 is the Hester, Chillingwood, amasung Pearl gi moiki recent past ki tang kar iye ba aduna moi jina Hester ne Chillingwood ne Pearl ne ahum sina activating agent way ba masi chapter 13 to 15 ko 13 14 15 gi ha ba adu ko ningsang ga to bani ko mathang slide last ko excuse me Fourth part shows almost inevitable failure of her plan. The part shows how Hester, in despair after discovering of her scheme to Chillingwood, sees point of his public explanation. Hester gi mai aso du sina to record. We fourth part I believe chapters 21 and 22 lead up to the revelation of his past by Dimesdal in chapter 23, and the last chapter records events that flowed from his confession. Dimesdal gi mai confession do not we loram titan. We chapters characters in the importance the last Dimesdal my confession to go. Man scaffold the Kakalaka, Magi Lalu, Habitatako, Magi Suru man confess to the important tower to Nemko, and to the illusion to Nebo worries. 24 chapters of the novel have also been compared to the 24 books of Homer's epic. First 12 lead upwards and downward. The concluding 12 to the heart and salvation, at least for Dimesdal. Homer epic. Iliad and the Odyssey to compare to journey Iliad and Odyssey, Iliad na koi Trojan War gi matang duni ko ne tum taramani maju parama buji ai ko Odyssey na Odysseus ka magi mana lando Trojan War lor matung da mana mayum halak pa da mana sei kun changi to around 20 years changi magi adventure mi amdo du matang ibne adu maina koi gi masigi Scarlet Letter ki 24th chapter sin koi gi Demetrius gi spiritual journey Esther gi journey mi amdo ka when compared to pi I have one and they call now 24 chapters of the novel have also been compared to the 24 books of Homer's epic. Iliad and the Odyssey. First 12 lead upward and downward. The concluding 12 to the heart and salvation, at least for Demetrius. Demetrius have characters in the main role like Odysseus have Magi journey of self-discovery hagadra, Magi journey of retribution hagadra. In the middle chapters, Chillingworth appears to be victorious. Till halfway, Pearl appears as a source of considerable anxiety, seen as uncontrolled, chaotic, tempestuous. However, in the second half of the novel, everything is reversed. Oh no, hey, how would it be? Middle chapter Europe and the book to have Tareko. Chillingworth in the hand, a man and numbagi mo, even though mana negative or mana villainous of a character. Mana Tamna, we depends on the Snarpa, depends on the Magi secret to Kangorpa. Aduka Pearls na, a quickie uncontrolled over. Chaotic over tempestuous over having a hanga haki wakan homono. Karikin habakanda, we may say we marab to Kangapaniko. Pearls, Magi Lengagi, Angang Sing Habitareko, we might Mamanaba, Mamana the Hydra. Now, Pulagas Hanaminaba, Leminaba, Kupa to Pangdi. Madam Diga, Nobakanda, Maze, as a product of an Katare, we got. Is a product of an adulterous affair harage to harage. Affair open in the co, Mazi Pisamasna, Manga Magi mother, Esther the Sismas, in Topira Unina, Manga Pundanaba, Manga Dinanaba, Manga associate of Nabako, parents of Topus into Haramaniko, to Harabanina, Mazopundra Mazi, Pearl Dimatonda, Sanzer, Amatonda, Sender, Amatonda, discovered or uncontrolled, natural habits, uncontrolled, chaotic, tempestuous, I say, Atopa way, Man Haragana, natural life. Social expectations, social customs, social norms may be applicable because Madi society manus or Madi society periphery the forest Kimanata Habitareko, Saraponia, Madunit. Chillingworth declines in power and Pearl is seen in a better light. What is the horror? But now we Chillingworth ki roles. Yam Choramba to the Pearls. Yam negative in the room. Adupo, what is it? We mark my horror. That the Chillingworth ki values under Akpa. Amsung Pearl ki importance and one club. We reversal habit of Masinico. Adurapangam to him. Although she appears disciplined for a time, novel dwells upon her potential intelligence. The genuine solution to dark problem. Demesel's confession in public untangles the skein for major characters and brings story to a natural conclusion. Oh, na kwe hobudagi why do baba hobudagi ko Demesel se maje punishment pangdra magi worries kamai lusingani habadi mana Hester gi predicament habitare ko Hester situation duty responsibility je Demesel masam ju chong yawri ne ko Pearl gi responsibility Demesel zo utabane man bo khala la ko parak pani ko last time Demesel na mana confess to ko natural conclusion of porkunga me hai ne novel to Demesel's rules when a clear cut when a cop magi sacrifice agadra magi death agadra ma she drinking my confession though and so will play the way. Epic format of 24 units involve 3 epic quests. Demesel's search for salvation culminates in public confession and brings novel to a climax. Oh no. See the epic format of 24 units involve 3 epic quests. Epic haragati scale yana so to a grand scale habitare ko mahuma mayor quest haragadi journey hagira ko the pursuit hagira ko matu mayam hagira ko hamada Demesel's search for salvation culminates in public confession and brings novel to a climax and Demesel na novel do horror ko diki habitare ko chapter 2 wiki Hester na skillful da kakhalaga my punishment do acceptable de horaga Demesel na maze kamaina magi soruba magi lalu habitare ko masama Puritan church ki minister mani mana mingonda preaching to na mana mingonda guidance ko moral guidance habitare we Catholic sorry as a Puritan ko mana mingonda guidance people mingonda man advice people and toroga mamas hadi achuba soiba ma toroga ko ado last di mana public confession ma toroga scaffold ka khala ko Hester ga Pearl ga zaman chingkat people habitare ko mana we scaffold ma ko khala ga magi mana muji accept to publicly accept to have tare ko after many years they accept to ramdo ko Nobel Prize na ilusha leba ani shuba question na Dimazdil has a more deliberate quest for the soul of Dimazdil which he wants to bring to perdition. This quest ends appropriately in destruction. No, no. Ani shuba major character na akwai Chillingworth oyini ko Chillingworth na Hester ki real husband aduga Chillingworth ki quest na natrada journey jina karino haiba kanda epic am gi tapi yenga rati ko Dimazdil jibu mana destroy to ante ko Dimazdil mana jingna wirabni ko na Dimazdil jina magi unhappiness ay katrato na maramni mana magi ay hinapise mana mangan ba kulan ba tare ko sama si mang to on na Dimazdil jib destroy to man ba ne to mana destroy to no kona ba ngam ki de ko na ma ki je ma ma sawi na mangjer ba to ki ba chilling mo ko madu ko ka wi de aro peda the search of Pearl is for her father. Although Hester says, "My child must seek a heavenly father," she unexpectedly finds her earthly father on the scaffold. Oh, na Pearl na mai mapa masakhaning ko mama I do pay on the ko duka Dimazdil na ju publicly accept to ni na ko Dimazdil na khangba adubu Pearl ni khangja na man mai mapa gi akhoi pa to phangna ba ha ka tra pa to thina ba ha pra journey amane ba example I have the sije epic quest ke no ju dum mane ko koi Homer gi Odyssey gi ju mane ko koi Homer gi Odyssey da Odysseus na mai thado ma ko magi pi Penelope amasung mai sa pa Telemachus thado ma ga ma sa ga halak pata koi Telemachus na ga mai mapa ma sa khangna khona ba do mai na Pearl ju mai mapa ma sa kana no mapa ji kana no ina khangna khona ba ne so masigi matang da koi gi epic tu ka ko Homer gi epic ka Nathaniel Hawthorne gi the Scarlet Letter gi marakta parallelism lei have to jai ko mapani mak manda ba an le ya matangi slide la siko the relevance of the custom house is an important point amani ko or part amani after describing this in Salem House denounces cruelty of two ancestors in judging devils and witches and the non-puritanical persons rather harshly ona masigi custom house da koi gi manuscript na the padana ko magi ancestors sing na matamdu da Puritan society da koi mi sing ji bu yamna tina judge to biba ko Puritan norms Puritan customs Puritan traditions me am ki thaido ko sing che ko na traga madu bu defy to ba ga tra madu bu follow to go sing ji bu koi samas gi tam thok pa ko exile to ba samas na excommunicate to ba me am che du uraga mana denounce to da man noise to pundu so do ha bi matamdu da koi channa bini ko adu bu ara ma channa bini chine ko adu na to khalaga koi gi custom house to think da pa da ko gi manuscript na pa man denounce to my ancestors so ko matulin The novel looks like an atonement on the part of a descendant of two harsh judges of deviants like Hester, but also becomes a plea for taking a tolerant and compassionate view of the transgressions of characters like her. Now, what's in novels is the Scarlet Letter. Atonement hierarchy. Aranba thabak ama torubaki akoina chunthokchana ba hona jabuji ko in atonement ko aina ki dama laluba ko aina apata tabam toruba na tra tabam toruba pa ki tabam toru haiba thane ko torubina madu gi to kamaina ai myam ki forgiveness hai tare ko society forgiveness na tra ai sana lanja ko for society ki na tra ko sana sma lalu na sana chunthokchana ba hona jabu ko in atonement ko ona manasi descendant na ko gi Hester gumba jibu have tare ko samaj ki sanna bi te kitang thaido pa hai ang tare ko have di we adulterous affair gum le matam gi puritanical society do ko ngi sanna bi do kitang thaido pa Hester gum ji yam tina to bi ba hai ka try yam tina just to bi ba yang tare ko mabu I physically torture to ba to you want to be ko mabu ko samaj ki ta to bi ba mabu ma ga mai chan pi ge se samaj accept to bi ta ko to mi am che madu ki maung patti having matang ko iram bazu malebo aduga and also becomes a plea for taking a tolerant and compassionate view of the transgressions of characters like her transgressions haragadi asoiba arang ba kumtang have tare ne ko ona aikoina mi am judge to kan ko habidi yam laitane ko biblical quotes take it ko he who has not committed any sin may cast the first stone kan ko I remember adugum ko habidi masa apunsida sunal landriba mana mi to pa judge to ko tabani kana ka pigi Bible dara kaino ai ko Jesus na kaino ai ka di ko ka isi to di ko origin lang to ko auna som da pigi Hester gum si am tina just to biba am tina ikai biba public humiliation biba ko simi am je simi am ina kitang compassionate meaning si upi ga dabani having matang ko iram bazu male na ko lobby ai Nobel ko Hawthorne comes back to Custom House in the conclusion. Mr. Surveyor Poe, who made investigations a century later, believed, and one of his recent successors in office, moreover, faithfully believes that Pearl was not only alive but married and happy. Aduna Pearl gi magi horopada maje challenges but ngai taba khotaba ko samas ki minok misa haba tarin ko myam pinara su Pearl se maybe she was alive, maybe she was married and happy naman kanjay habidi moi gi mota happy ending ma pining mo character sing ko habidi yam tina just to be given ina Hester boy tina just to be dimensional boy consign sara ko digi asalak ko digi haba tarin ko consign so khang mo to bi secret ni awna moina Hester boy teacher ma be ko Pearl do hingam ma ba taragati ma je happy or mani phani ko kana mo khanjab do ko aduni. Okay, so next call. The main narrator sorts out the problem of making magical and marvelous credible by simply stating that extraordinary events were witnessed by a few persons, and thus he maintains a somewhat special facade. 시장 important 거. 어느 시다 이코이 능능하이 웨버. 거 아코이기 어떻게 하다 하이브 다 realistic 어떻게 하이브 다래 거 events 같은 거. For example, 이코이 데메젤기 heart 거 마기 chest 하이브 다래 거. 이 타람바 하이브 거 마기 만나 양나 농아이도 pain or forward physically manifest or 하이드 다래 거 잉 사르 거. 아도메암도 아도도 거는 땀나 chilling 거 등은 우두냐. 하이브 시다 magical element 나마 하이다래. magic realism 하이가 드라 메암제 asing mamalalew ko national photon technique am sinara ko kamaino haba kanda mayam da uhanda entai ko habi mi khana dang uhan ba onta pudi doubt oyan bi adina ko habi ma uramni ta uramoida habi gi sida khoi gi debate to ba natraga khoi tana bi yare ko no moina ga samna har ba khoi gi meteor ma aiju novel je pa budi pare ko kitan ko meteor ma tarak ko daga e kaina ga dugi shape daga ta gi khoi gi ba je khar da no ho tu ne mi khar da ko sukuma me am je kuina magical over marvelous over scene psychotra magical and marvelous over event psychotra simians kuigi je thajan bi hale kamain ha ba kanda mi lo nang hon de bi to ko mi khar nang ho ba maybe adun ta pudi magi mamit to ko mana soidin u ki ba gumba natraga mana u da do mana magi wakhan u han bu gumba ka ha ba to ko to hen bi ana pa na kuida this really happened haven't perhaps something like that happened ka ha ba ko kuida doubt normal hen ba to reader kuida ko adu maina netana ho tron to hon de adu ni. The narrator reminds readers of his existence and function. Thus, talking of the mood of minister after his meeting, Hester in the forest, narrator says, we hesitate to reveal, nevertheless, to hold nothing back from the reader. Sida narrator ja adum worry sida mana omnipresent to ba habita reko character ang itatu hale we ka word sine man ko. Sida Hester na matunda I have seen no we hesitate to reveal ka ko. Nevertheless, to hold nothing back from the reader ka habiti yam na meta ba habita reko we breaking the fourth wall ka ko adum me am do with the idea am saga hale. In the same paragraph, he says, he is narrator, we have had and may still have worse things to tell of him. Hargadi akwai sida wari liba kanta narrator jina magi role, magi function, magi existence reader akwai na paring ita yamna obvious oil maduni ko magi technique sida ko akwai the narrator ja ever present of a character ko ever present of a omnipresent of a character ne habisa akwai da remind to yam toina. For example, for esquissing kumata. The novelist aims at a fine combination of the dramatic and the descriptive in his technique of narration. Onasida mana dramatic oiba, descriptive su oiba. Animak tugi yamna balance oiba habitara yamna fine balance amta mana thamna honeba. Often tries to build up to the climatic moments of drama. The three scenes on the scaffold are fine examples of it. Ona dramatic oiba scenes yamna yawi. Over the top oiba ko yamna melodramatic ka habita ko English kana yawi. Karam scenes oiba kanta scaffold scene hondo ahanbada kuigi Hester na scaffold kakat scene ani shubada dimension la kakalaga mana confess to ba but kanata how to scene amason aroiba kui novel lo bakanda dimension la kakalaga mana announce to ka matunda na shiki yana dramatic of scene na ko have the mana my confession to pirama matunda he is going to drop down and die. He's going to drop dead. in the style the illusion but yeah dramatic way ko adun the first and the last of these scenes are like spectacles with the entire population thronging the place in the middle. One, the meteor flashing across the sky provides the drama they can easily see as tableaus, each one strikingly visualized. On the first ka last scene the masida population in the habit the society na habit tareko uho and tareko the middle one na meteor e is set to go I know such high record among the slide on the discuss of e is set to go pi to go meteor on a dramatic level. I mean, the coincidence I be aduga I mean, real life the shugum doesn't happen often. Natra. Ona some the mana confess to be in the scaffold kakat pukanda, some the meteor, time sa have time of Gitarakpa. Natra, a tarakanda, the Mondia, Chanahan, man some the confess to Matanda, e set the sky the faster Kolapa have say, yam overly dramatic way. I believe it's a very unlikely that something like that would happen in real life. Ona Shida, Netane Potron Adumazu happy. As well as descriptive will be seen so happen. Balance a man problem on the say. The scarlet letter contains a fine balance of the dramatic as well as the descriptive parts of a novel heavy. The genre of the scarlet letter. The scarlet letter is a genre the happy and have the if we apply Hawthorne's own distinction to the scarlet letter, the work is likely to be seen more as a romance and less as a novel. On the scarlet letter, romance ne hena lum tak to in the lobby novel budi ko param doing zero appearance of scarlet letter A on heart of the minister flashing of meteoric A in the sky when the minister appears on the scaffold red light that comes out of Chillingworth's eyes witchcraft of Mistress Higgins are unreal events on the sida kwegi novel sida kwena study to pakanda ko events kara mi kara natraga ko situation kara yamna uithokpa yaru ita habitare thazabada wagada mahiraki events kari yawe karamba no habakanda scarlet letter A the mezil ki chest ko scarlet A kamaina tholokno kamaina madu injury ra ko madu ma matumda na inflict or self inflicted wound have matumda son jari ra adu do kanante ko flashing of the meteor rig A ki septa meteorum na ka flash or madu ko nungdang do ko in the sky when the minister appears on the scaffold sumo me amje unreal way ko red light that comes out of Chillingsworth's eyes. Chillingsworth's eyes is described as it's like a description of hell. Apata meaning of Chillingsworth. Chillingworth's apata meaning na my mamito red so we can hire with a symbolic when habitat of a take have the Kanada. Already witchcraft of Mistress Higgins. Sukuma meamja. Quickie novel gumbada kaya hana dimatum according to Nathaniel Hawthorne Habitat. I am a romance gumbada. I romance ka harga de kuisum unreal of events far-fetched of events have far-fetched of theories magical with concepts have magical of events kumba se adu hapanina ma je wiki according to Nathaniel Hawthorne description ki matungina ko scarlet letter je novel of muta romance from the end sansala pi mo to na lobi magi own definition sina have ko matu the death of Demezel's after his confession on the scaffold is also not very probable, although it is possible. Masijuniko ay mamangi slide on the hike. Demezel na mana last yamna dramatic way na habitareko. Mana Hester ga Pearl ga buman accept or maga confess or maga ekta kutaga sidoki bedo. I bet yamna melodramatic way ko. Sugum the novel gi mutta romance na hin yaw in lope. On a sugum incidents me amsa ko gi for example, appearance of scarlet letter A on heart of Demezel, Malereka, flashing of meteoric A in the sky when the minister appears on the scaffold, Anilere, red light that comes out of Chillingsworth's eyes, witchcraft of Mistress Higgins, Marie, Amasung, the death of Demezel after his confession on the scaffold. Mga dangatiko, mga di hina joyko. On the Sukumian, Kunagar Kangalaga study to work on the Sukumian, the genre of romance ne hena naksan bukum to with the scarlet letters Nathaniel Hawthorne gi definition sinarga Nathaniel Hawthorne gi on distinction sinara matunga niko apply to matunga niko aduna yes gi scarlet letters in romance and lord joy novel and lord joy adubu Nathaniel Hawthorne gi on distinction sinara gati magi scarlet letters romance ne hena lumtak oina sansale na kuni lobu tare maduniko Hawthorne prevents story from becoming considerably unreal by mentioning marvelous events indirectly as seen by several people or by a specific character. Adubu Hawthorne di hone yoko. Mana masigi the Scarlet Letter je novel ni tropakan ko. Yamna dramatic ba yam improbable ito pa yaro ito events pa mo hapsa lagati mansigi wari je kaya hata fictional mong do chakrani min thajaro habi mong man khangja bani ko ona yamna fantastical oiba magic realism ki matang yaw singja mana mi khara dang na hoba na trami tang na hoba adi mong da mana itwe atoi di akoina mi dugi magi account ko thajabi ai thajda bi it's up to us ko mi am tang ho we haraga di for example yamna fantastical oiba event mo bi ai adugo ai tum no ho raga di mi to pana ai thajabi ai ai thajda bi ai Bizarre akoina ju mana si ibakan da events to thajabi ai or akoina discard to bi ko tumaina adu ki technique to sine ko yamna smart obi technique amani haiba tare ko mi lo namang ho ko lo haraga di yam obvious oina oh si je magic ki element am yawi ko on ta ko di yamna improbable obi events yawi ko in mi na khangi to ina haiba di readers in the khangi to ina ko madu to avoid tong na ba ina fantastical element yaw pa ka Nathaniel Hawthorne na mana kuigi mi khara dang ho ba mi amani dang ho ba na tra mi am dang ho ba adi mong de i man we should remember that Hawthorne has given us a definition of romance, which can subsume several works that we have generally regarded as novels. Oh, no. Nathaniel Hawthorne's definition of romance is a novel in the works. Nathaniel Hawthorne's definition to apply to novels in romance. Hawthorne's own distinction, own definition to apply to For example, Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, or Herman Melville, Billy Budd, or Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, or even Sir Walter Scott's Ivanhoe may then have to be classified as romance. Oh, na hana ikoina Wuthering Heights, Ivanhoe, Jane Eyre sing the novel in the romance. Nathaniel Hawthorne gi magi parameters sing mana novel natural romance ne gi parameters sing apply to rakan di hana ikoina novel in the kalam sing je kona romance ne na ikoina khanbi ai natural low ai maduni ko sida hining is we have to place the Scarlet Letter midway between novel and romance. Oh, na novel gives you factors me amma chain banina or novels gives you magun features are ko me amma chain banina as well as romance gives you features me amma chain banina we the karamba da apply to do no karamba da have to know have kanda kitang confusing over we can say lakani ko maduna ma je midway have that novel to novel qualities me amma cheli romantic qualities am cheli na novel dangi have jarway amma su romance have jar maratani and haiduni so genre of the Scarlet Letter is midway between a novel and a romance. Next slide, Laxiko. Special features of the Scarlet Letter and other similar novels. Special features like many novels of the Romantic period in England, America, Russia, and France, the Scarlet Letter has a historical setting. Yes. Oh no. Matam dugi chanabi matam dugi all the rage ka have ko wing sarang ko maina England da America da Russia da France da irpa maina wiki matam dugi real life historical events like real life historical people events cultures settings have tare ko miam do adumaina Scarlet Letter ju historical setting mo ba habadi events to akoina fictionalized or ju based on real events, based on real history, even though we characters in Hawthorne used backdrop of history not simply to create a fictional counterpart of costume drama or describe marvelous effects, but to probe deep into minds of major characters who represented different strands in community from the past. Hawthorne created over characters in Esther Boyle, Chillingworth Boyle, Denisel Boyle, Puritan society boyro si me amde mun matam du da tamdugi society mi sing na kamaina khalam gani ko mogi mentalities kamain torom gani mogi wakhalun kamain torom gani habda mana pasana study torom matum thaba tare I thora pani ba khoi da khangan bangam me mana ko khoina Scarlet Letter power buganda matam dugi America da ko China satna bi smain torami masi culture je follow torami masigi type of social judgment, social humiliation, scaffold The Scarlet Letter is the only great American novel of its time that puts a woman at the center of the stage. Oh no, Scarlet Letter matam dugi have American novel da ꯃꯇꯝꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯑꯃꯦꯔꯤꯀꯟ ꯅꯣꯕꯦꯜꯗ ꯀꯦꯔꯦꯛꯇꯔ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯇꯦꯒꯣꯅꯤꯁꯁꯤꯅ ꯅꯨꯄꯤꯅ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯒ ꯀꯣ ꯅꯨꯄꯤꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯆꯧꯕ ꯔꯣꯜ ꯑꯃ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯦ ꯇꯧꯕꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯊ꯭ꯔꯨ ꯑꯥꯎꯠ ꯗ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯒ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯑꯣꯐ ꯗ ꯅꯣꯕꯦꯜꯗꯣ ꯄꯥꯕ ꯀꯥꯟꯗꯀꯣ ꯍꯧꯕꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯏꯕꯧꯗ ꯃꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯍꯦꯁꯇꯔ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯟꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯀꯥꯔꯂꯦꯠ ꯂꯦꯇꯔꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯅꯣꯕꯦꯜꯁꯤꯗ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯀꯦꯔꯦꯛꯇꯔꯁꯦ ꯃꯣꯁ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯀꯦꯔꯦꯛꯇꯔ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯇꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯗ ꯅꯦꯊꯥꯅꯤꯌꯦꯜ ꯍꯣꯊꯣꯔꯟ ꯏꯊꯣꯔꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯅꯨꯄꯤꯁꯤꯅ ꯈ꯭ꯋꯥꯏꯗꯒꯤ ꯃꯦꯖꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯔꯣꯜ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯦ ꯇꯧꯍꯜꯂꯦꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯇꯥꯡꯕ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁ꯭ꯄꯦꯁꯦꯜ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯦꯁ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯣꯀꯨꯄꯥꯏ ꯇꯧꯋꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯅꯦꯊꯥꯅꯤꯌꯦꯜ ꯍꯣꯊꯣꯔꯟꯅ ꯑꯃꯦꯔꯤꯀꯟ ꯂꯤꯇꯔꯦꯆꯔ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯗꯤ ꯇꯧꯕ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯀꯧꯕꯤꯒꯅꯨꯀꯣ The Scarlet Letter, moreover, not only presents the predicament of Hester, predicament harakadi magi situation because magi kara awab situation haita, but it also questions the validity of the status the society has assigned to women. Auna, akoina Hester ki character je analyze to bakanda, study to bakanda. Oh, matam dugi puritanical society da di nupi sing je sigi meeting da yengamiko, sigi meeting uramiko haibada kuida tam tamna realization amasung discovery to honmagame. Matuni. In the unit on Hawthorne's vision, we observe that he is a critic of the social attitude towards women. Hester can be seen as an early feminist. Oh, na Hawthorne Hester jibu just to be kopiba. Matam dugi ko puritanical society na matam dugi society na Hester jibu humiliate to biba Hester jibu justment bibi ma'am se masiki against say ramani na ko oh na mas critic amane society da chanaramba chumme hena chanaramba haiba tare ko yai chummi phayen chanaramba nupi singbu second class citizen oni uramba nupi singbu handan uramba nupi singbu judgment irana biramba aduga punishment jaya man nupi ne biramba se adai nupi sing jai koi gi domestic role dagi hendo handa ba haiba tare ko simyam je ura matunda Hawthorne masama critic ne badugi society sanaba myam dugi habidi against lay atuni strength and courage with which she faces social censure and rises and great endurance which far exceeds Demistille's indicates Hawthorne's recognition of the fact that patriarchal society is unjustified in regarding a woman as a weakling. Now, Hester ki journey have a magi own journey. Magi challenges man overcome to give up. Masi miyam je kuina novel to parakan oh character miyam ki marak takwa di challenges wa give a thing give se Hester ni amasung challenges miyam to overcome to bungam give Hester ni hamsa kuita clear or bungam Demistille ki challenges miyam ki Hester ki challenges ni hena yam be hele lum be hele aduni ko habit animal lamin narubani ko but punishment je Hester dan sabane punishment je Hester dan applicable or bane ko madunita adubu punishment to phanga matunda madugi punishment ki wang man kakhandam honara ko madu Hester ki challenges me am to overcome to no honara ko Hawthorne fazan celebrate to be novel to the god maduni. The Scarlet Letter as a novel about adultery resembles several great 19th century novels, in particular Flaubert, Gustave Flaubert, French writer, Madame Bovary, and Tolstoy, have Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina, which focuses on the extramarital affairs of a wife. Gustave Flaubert ki Madame Bovary ju adultery himtang libani, amasung Leo Tolstoy ki Anna Karenina ju adultery che yam chong na role play to ko. Aduna Nathaniel Hawthorne ki novel The Scarlet Letter ga Gustave Flaubert ki Madame Bovary ka amasung Leo Tolstoy ki Anna Karenina ga da manaba langam have tare string am ko ubangam. What is remarkable about the Scarlet Letter is that, as pointed out earlier, it is concerned with the after effects of adultery and not the deed itself. Oh, na kena ba habu atopa novel sing the ko akui adulterers affair gi matang the in depth when yamna chapter ga dedicate to ko loi ko adubu Nathaniel Hawthorne gi Scarlet Letter da di adulterers affair na loider ga habi tare ko madugi after effect habi tare adulterers affair am lai ro matunga kamaina akui gi nupi duna challenges me am look mind in gi kamaina overcome to ki habi da adu matang da hen focus to ba novel oya ko. Hawthorne in the Scarlet Letter shows distinct individuality in handling of a historical setting, in presentation of predicaments of women in a patriarchal society, and in treatment of the motive of adulterous wife. On a Hawthorne na Scarlet Letter the historical setting of a present already. Nupi singi challenges, nupi sing the wa given matam the puritanical society to madu joku to kale. Amazung adulterous wife se sing matang the man easy when adubu adulterous wife to give mangi challenges meow, man to give a hardship meow to clear cut with the reader with the uhan bunga meow. Sum up the result. Let us sum up. Chapters 2, 12, 23, in which some characters mount the scaffold, mark the turning points in the story. Oh, chapters 2, 12, 23, the characters Hester, chapter 2, the 12, the Hester, Demistille, Amasung 23, the Hester, Demistille, Amasung Pearl, Moina scaffold, Maduna, novel to give turning point. Novel can be divided into 4 parts. First, the community, and the 4 principal characters are active agent, Moina plot, drive the wing. In second, Chillingworth in third, Hester in fourth dimension. Oh, na matang muje character je turn by turn have tare ko. Novel ji bu progress to buda plot tu bu akoina makha sa thalak buda akoigi matang ko role ho mine have tare. Nantai ko community na han buda Chillingworth na ani su buda Hester na ahum su buda amasung dimension na mari su. The custom house introduces the narrator and the main story. And the custom house to ko akoigi musi sector na akoigi narrator do have the omnipresent of narrator do bu ko. The novel has several dramatic scenes, although it is descriptive. Oh, na novel is the Kataza Bawaga the scenes, Making Yaudo, Nati Yawebo, Adubu, the channel Hotron, Yana Sing, I have the young obvious in the Vita, Aduki Rodo, Yan, the Yamdalaka, Mati main road to Lamdalaka, with a Yan realistic but setting of people of it. The Scarlet Letter has elements of both the novel and the romance. So now, novel Amazon, as well as romance, and Imakir features Hybatareko. The channel Hotron definition of floater of the end Kiawi, Aduna, Scarlet Letter, novella, Natraga romance, la Habada, Maja, Maratni Habiago, midway Habi, novel Amazon, romance. So, Masini Equina Sigi lecture Jacob. Some of the record, Aduna, to be Yingzi. Last one now, Sigi Unit 4, the Scarlet Letter, structure, narrative style, and special features Equinere. Matangi class at the Anova topic ama start on the Torjico, to we discuss Torji. Nasiki lecture in the Kangdava, clear with the Yorgadi, next lecture, discuss to Minasico. So, good evening, have a great evening ahead. Visualizing.